Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. It is exactly 14 after 8 o'clock. Welcome to the program. Nice to have you on the show. And the first interview of the morning is with Bishop Lazarus Maumela. And he is with the Lazarus Azihangwi Maumela Foundation. It has to do with, obviously, the inquiry into the Palapala saga. As far as Bishop Azwi Hwangwi Maumela is concerned, they are saying hands off our president, hands off. And he also starts off by saying that the recommendations of the panel brings to question a lot of perspectives. He goes on to say, yes, we are a democratic dispensation, but then we need to understand why a president whose monies have been stolen would be accused by other criminals, a former spy with a checkered past, deposits hearsay, and then it's taken as the truth. Bishop, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning and to the viewers, and thank you to you, and it's a privilege for me to be here.
It's a privilege to have you as my guest. Thank you indeed for your very valuable time. I must also add here that yesterday we had Brahm Hanekom. He was talking to us in his personal capacity, but he also is very strong. He speaks out very strongly and supports the Africa for Palestine movement. And he has started a petition, and he's saying, please, Mr. President, don't leave us, don't resign. And in a sense, your sentiments are pretty similar. You are saying, hands off our president, Cyril Ramaphosa. I also understand that you organized a protest march a few days ago. Tell us why you feel so strongly about this matter.
Thanks to you, Julie. We are of the view that the genesis that President Ramaphosa has started was mainly to deal with corruption, and we cannot allow the corrupt individual sitting down somewhere in the corner and plan on how they must bring also some dirty things to President Cyril. Starting by saying this, that since the President Cyril has began to be the president or began to root out corruptions, there's been a number of arrests, starting by former president, different ministers, people who we thought they're untouchable, and him strengthening NPA and the Hawks and all these things. Clearly, the beneficiary of the state capture or those that are corrupt will not sit down and fold their hands. These are two things that we felt this parameter must be rejected in the highest form. Is that the very same guy who is alleged to be the housebreaker was in the house of the former president before 3 to 4 days before the break-in to the house of the president. Now, this guy seems to be having a contact with Arthur Fraser just before he goes into that break-in. So we are of the view that these things were set up. These things, they were very much aware what they were doing. And secondly, and what we feel that is not fair is that the president is a victim of crime. And as he's a victim of crime, obviously the president might have tried to back himself up, because one thing that we know and we understand about President Cyril Ramaphosa is that he's a man who loves the African National Congress and love his own people. And this man has been in the building of the economy that had been destroyed by Zuma and his friends. and I mean the Guptas and so on. And again, we know why these things is happening. Guptas have been promised a number of things, and those that are corrupt have been promised a number of things that by December, President Cyril Ramaphosa is not going anywhere. So we are saying that Cyril, he is not going anywhere, and Cyril, we must defend him because this corrupt individual, these people who have looted government state, these people who have looted VBS. I mean, just imagine the people of the Bavenda community whom the VBS has been, the money has been stolen and it has not been recovered even today, where job has been lost and we are crying about jobs, but their jobs have been lost. People are unable to feed their own family. Secondly, you have people who have lost their money. Maybe that money was assisting them in their own business. But when it's been taken and it can't be recovered, their investment that has been taken, maybe others had planned that would had buy some franchise and so on. So we are simply saying that President Cyril Ramaphosa is not going anywhere and we will defend him until to the latter.
How do you feel about the comments made by EFF leader Julius Malema, suggesting that Cyril Ramaphosa has to serve a jail term? He's saying that he won't rest till Cyril Ramaphosa serves a jail term. But forgetting, I mean, you mentioned VBS, and we know that Floyd Shivambu and his brother were deeply involved in the VBS scandal, and
Yeah.
he doesn't acknowledge that at all.
Look, I don't take Julius Malema very serious. That's the first thing. He is it's a political prostitute. So I don't take him very serious. Even when he opens his mouth, I don't even think of taking him serious because he's a liar. He comes and say, we will fight and die for Zuma. And he said Thabo Mbeki is a sellout. Then he comes and said Thabo Mbeki was the one of the best president. He comes and say, I regret for supporting Zuma. So I don't take that man very serious. EFF, it's a group of, thugs, criminals at the highest form. And we are very much aware. And I suspect that those people that have been suspected of crime and those people that have been persecuted by Ramaphosa, by the government of Ramaphosa, they are literally coming back to the EFF and donate money to the EFF to fight back. So this fight back by the EFF, it is not something that the community should ignore. So the fight back, I'm sorry, the fight back by the EFF, it is literally something that the EFF has been funded for. And I suspect that EFF, it has been funded by money that is coming from criminal activities. I mean, not so long was attending the wedding of the daughter of Mazotti, the daughter of Mazotti, which is one of the figures that is questionable in South Africa. The very same EFF leader, in the very same wedding that he was attending, this Julius Malema that you are talking about, this cockroach that you are referring to, in that same wedding, there was the Gupta's associate. So I suspect that the Gupta's associate are working with the EFF to fight back because they are evading prison.
Okay. So many questions to unpack here. Let's not forget the key issue here is hands off President Cyril Ramaphosa, because we do know that it's not going to come to that. He's not going to serve time in jail. He's not going to be resigning. But let's just look at that scenario. If he did decide to resign tomorrow, what would South Africa look like? Who would head up the ANC? And how dire would the situation in South Africa be? I'm thinking, like you've just outlined, EFF, I'm thinking perhaps the Zuma-backed RET factions, etc. How will they then further destroy the remnants of a beautiful country that we still have and have the opportunity to preserve, so to speak?
Look, I don't think we need to even think that what if he resigns? He's not going to resign, and we're not going to allow that. And the majority of South Africans, we're not going to allow that. Remember, Cyril, it's somebody that even if he can leave the ANC today, he can still contest the elections and win. Him by himself without not being in the ANC. But to answer your question, to do justice to your questions, we have the capable leaders in the ANC. And I believe one thing that the ANC have done, have prepared, we have strong people like Comrade Tandi Mudise in the ANC. These are the very strong comrade of the ANC. You have Kubai, Maluku Kubai, the Minister of Human Settlement. These are the very strong comrades of the ANC. You have Ronald Lamula, you have Oscar Mabuyane. These are capable. You have Zamani Soul, you have David Makura. We have not run stock of leaders in the ANC. Yes, indeed, we do accept that we have those leaders in the ANC that are questionable, but we do have leaders. We have a comrade like who are members of the ANC, like Derek Hennekon. These are capable, strong leaders of the ANC. With Enoch Kotongwane, these are capable, strong comrades of the ANC. In case Ramaphosa, his term it's finished, because I won't say in case he resigns, because he's not going to resign. When his term finished, we have good leaders in the ANC. The current chairperson of the ANC, very capable leaders. Yes, we have comrades like Stan Matabata, whom we don't trust, whom we don't even think he should emerge in any leadership of the ANC. Yes, we do have Mashatile. We don't trust him, and I don't think he will emerge in the conference of the ANC. The other people that you mentioned, that you think of, yes, there are many that we do not trust in the ANC that will never emerge, even coming to the in the conference of the ANC. But that idea, I just want to
All
do
right, can I
justice in
ask
that
you?
question. That
Yeah.
idea that says in case he will resign, he's not going to resign because his assignment. Okay, you can go ahead.
Uh, Thank you for that. Two final questions, which are
Now I'm done.
important, and then we will wrap up. The close contender for the elective conference behind Cyril Ramaphosa obviously is Zweli Mkhize. Your thoughts on him? I mean, he's been mired in that a health Department of Health scandal, the PPE, the issue. How do you feel about that situation?
Well, you are asking me about something that I don't even want to waste your airtime to the viewers, and I think I would request because what I'm saying is that Cyril, I don't see him with anybody who is contesting him. He's contesting
Okay.
this thing
All
alone.
right.
Maybe we'll have somebody
Okay.
contesting him in the conference, maybe from the floor. But from where I see, it's Cyril, it's leading this contestation alone. Look, we know that the process of the elections of the ANC was rigged. We're very much aware about that. There are many candidates. Let me give you the candidate like Gwen Ramokhupa, which is also one of the great leaders of the ANC. Um, I, we suspect because, by the way, we don't trust that election confident on it. That's why we are calling for the IEC to be introduced in because that one, together with Comrade Nomvula, these people have messed up the process because they are doing whatever that they could do. There is no anybody in the ANC who can contest Comrade Cyril except Paul Mashatile. All these are the one who are trying to do, they are comforting themselves closer to the conference. But when the conference arrive, there will be the people of the past.
Okay, Bishop, I know that you're very passionate about the leadership of Cyril Ramaphosa. We do know that currently he's the best man for the job. We can't afford to lose him. However, my question to you then is, you can't deny that the ANC's reputation has truly suffered. And come the 2024 elections, general elections, chances that the ANC will win the elections uh, at this point in time looks very, very slim. Your thoughts?
I disagree with you. ANC will win with a majority. In fact, with the third majority. That's what I can tell you. Let me tell you, the ANC during the time of President Mandela introduced an infrastructure. Thabo Mbeki comes and do make a development mix, because what Mandela had left us with a social state. When Thabo Mbeki comes in, introduce a development state. Now, in the era of the JZ, which is the era that, fine, what era was that? But it was an era full of corruption, era where it were reduced into nothing. Now, when Comrade Cyril comes, to anybody who have a sober mind, who is able to see and read, that's why even people that are not politicians, even people who don't even care about the ANC, when they heard that this bunch of losers want to remove Ramaphosa, they were so concerned. And the reason why they are so concerned is that they understand the leadership that these men have. Now, Cyril have tried, and because if I gave you a house, my sister Julie, which is destroyed, you will not finish that house in 1 day, 1 month, 2 months. You will take time developing. So there are a number of things. Now, the leadership that Cyril had going to the elections in the previous elections were so compromised, were having a lot of dirtiness around them. Him, the deputy, the chairperson, the treasurer, and the secretary. And hence what we are fighting, it is that in this conference, Cyril he must be deputized by a man or a woman who has a good reputation. And at this time, we are calling on all branches of the ANC to support a woman or a young person, not to support these old people, to support a very young person, to the chairperson, and also to the secretary and the deputy secretary and the treasurer. We're calling for new blood. We are saying new blood, and who will be able to take South Africa forward. So that's why I'm saying that the 2024 story will be corrected in the conference in Nazareth in December. The ANC will come very strong and alive, and all these cockroach that will be dealt with it after the conference.
I look forward to having many more chats with you in the future,
Thank you,
very
Julie.
definitely post the elective conference as well. And then obviously the run up to the 2024 elections. Finally, let's talk about very quickly, because we've run out of time, hands off President Ramaphosa, hands off. That was the protest that you and your people had embarked on. Do you believe it sent out a strong enough message?
It did. I mean, there are people that thinks, look, it did, because people take advantage of because of the kindness of President Ramaphosa. President Ramaphosa is very kind. He's not wild. He has a other people would want him to be. But we think it has sent a strong message because people think they will victimize President Cyril Ramaphosa. They will run their CODESA somewhere in Limpopo and go into KZN, and we think we'll keep quiet and not defend him. But the number of the support that President had received at this time, it has sent a very strong message. That's why Julius was nowhere to be found until yesterday, because I think he was struggling
Okay.
from the heart attack when they see the support that President Cyril. Now, thank you, Julie.
It was lovely
So, but
talking
it did.
with
It had
you.
sent a strong message. I mean, that's what. Now, thank you so much, and your viewers.
We'll talk again in the future, possibly in the new year. Bishop Lazarus Maumela talking about hands off, President Ramaphosa, hands off. And there you have it, loud and clear indeed. 8:35 on News and Views right here on Salam Media. Standing by to talk with us is Ashraf Patel. He is a Senior Research Associate at the Institute for Global Dialogue.